Love comics? Love games? What happens when these two worlds collide? Today, we're counting down the top 12 games based on comics that will have you button mashing and page turning in excitement. From Gotham's shadows to Marvel's cosmic realms, these games bring comic book magic to life. Alright folks, kicking things off at number 12 is Marvel Snap. This game is like that bag of chips you tell yourself you'll only have a handful of, and then suddenly, it's gone. Fast-paced and ridiculously addictive, it's a card strategy game that feels like reading through your favorite comic series. One more match, just one more. The matches are short, so it's perfect for those quick gaming sessions when you've got a few minutes to kill. The gameplay is innovative, combining strategy with a bit of luck. You never know what card you're gonna pull next. And speaking of cards, Marvel Snap features hundreds of them, showcasing all your favorite Marvel characters. You've got everyone from Spider-Man to the X-Men to the Guardians of the Galaxy. One of my favorite things, you can assemble the ultimate team of heroes to take down your opponents. Or you can just spam Deadpool cards. Why? Because Deadpool. I mean, who wouldn't want an army of snarky mercenaries cracking jokes while you obliterate your enemy's strategy? At number 11, we have The Darkness 2, a first-person shooter dripping with supernatural horror. Now, if you've ever thought to yourself, gee, I wish I had demonic tentacles sprouting from my back, this game says, why not? The Darkness 2 is based on the gritty comic series, and boy, does it live up to its name. You play as Jackie Estacado, a mobster with some serious issues, and I'm not just talking about his taste in suits. Jackie's got dark powers, and they're not the kind you use to find your keys. We're talking full-blown, brutal combat here. One of the coolest features? Quad wielding. Yep, you heard that right. Jackie can wield two guns while also using his demonic arms to rip through enemies like a hot knife through butter. Sure, imagine trying to juggle chainsaws while also shooting at bad guys. That's basically Jackie's Tuesday. The storyline, it's intense and emotional. You'll find yourself deeply invested in Jackie's struggle with his inner demons, both literal and metaphorical. Plus, the game's comic book art style makes every scene pop like it was ripped straight from the pages of a graphic novel. And let's talk about those demonic tentacles for a second. Ever wanted to summon these bad boys to do your bidding? In The Darkness 2, you can use them to impale enemies, throw objects, or even snack on the hearts of your foes for health. It's like having your own personal horror show right at your fingertips. So if you're into supernatural horror with a side of mobster drama and a dash of emotional storytelling, The Darkness 2 has got you covered. Coming in at number 10, we have Hellboy, The Science of Evil. Picture this, dark vibes and brooding atmosphere straight out of Mike Mignola's comics. The game dives headfirst into Hellboy's world, complete with that signature art style that screams gritty and gothic. Now, I'll be honest to Hellboy, The Science of Evil didn't exactly set the gaming world on fire. But let's be real, it's Hellboy, punching demons. What's not to like? You get to step into the shoes, well, hooves of Big Red himself, navigating through levels filled with occult enemies and twisted landscape. The game nails the atmosphere. You feel like you're wandering through the pages of a Hellboy comic, from creepy forests to ancient ruins dripping with supernatural menace. And Hellboy's gruff charm? It's there in spades. Ron Perlman even lends his voice to our favorite demon hunting hero, adding that extra layer of authenticity. Combat is straightforward but satisfying. Hellboy uses his trusty right hand of doom to pummel enemies into oblivion, and when that isn't enough, he's got an arsenal of weapons and mystical artifacts to back him up. Ever wanted to clobber a demon with a stone hand the size of a small boulder? This game has you covered. Sure, it's not perfect. The controls can be a bit clunky, and some of the mechanics feel dated, but hey, it's all about the experience. Diving into the dark, quirky world of Hellboy and smashing through hordes of otherworldly foes. At number 9, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. The game delivers a colorful beat-em-up adventure that'll have you hooked from the get-go. Inspired by the cult graphic novel, it's packed with retro charm, quirky humor, and co-op chaos. The first thing you notice? The art style. It's like someone took the essence of every classic arcade game you ever loved and blended it with the vibrant, quirky world of Scott Pilgrim. The pixel art is sharp, the colors pop, and the animation? Smooth as butter on a hot skillet. You get to play as Scott and his friends, each with their unique moves and abilities. You're not just mashing buttons, there's strategy here. You can pull off combos, juggle enemies in the air, and unleash special attacks that light up the screen. And the humor? Oh man, if you love the comic's offbeat wit, you're in for a treat. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, throwing in visual gags and Easter eggs at every turn. Perfect for when you want to fight for love and coins. Speaking of coins, every enemy you knock out drops them like they're made of gold. Collecting them is addictive. You'll feel like a kid in a candy store. Plus, you can use them to buy upgrades and items to boost your character's stats. But let's not forget co-op mode. This game shines when you grab a few friends and dive into the fray together. It's chaotic in the best way possible, enemies flying everywhere, power-ups exploding, everyone shouting directions or insults. You'll laugh, you'll yell, and you might even throw a controller or two. But that's part of the fun, right? Cowabunga. Number 8 is TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. Man, just saying that gets me hyped. This game is a nostalgic throwback to the arcade classics we all dumped quarters into back in the day. But don't think it's just riding on nostalgia. Oh no, this bad boy's got modern mechanics and some of the most awesome co-op gameplay you'll find. First off, the graphics. They've nailed that retro pixel art style while giving it a fresh, vibrant look that pops off the screen. It's like stepping into a comic book with every punch, kick, and high-flying ninja move. And speaking of moves, each turtle's got their own unique set of skills. You've got Leonardo with his balanced attacks, Michelangelo spinning nunchucks like he's at a rave, Donatello's reach with that bow staff, and Raphael, well, let's just say he hits like a truck. It makes picking your favorite turtle not just a matter of preference, but strategy. Now let's talk co-op. This game shines when you grab some friends and dive into the action together. Up to 4 players can join in for some shell-kicking chaos. Picture this, you're side by side with your buddies, slicing through Foot Clan ninjas like they're butter while shouting Booyakasha at the top of your lungs. Grab a slice of pizza and get ready to kick some shell with friends. And I mean it, pizza is literally your health pickup in this game. So when things get tough and your health bar is looking more red than green, keep an eye out for those cheesy saviors. Trust me, nothing beats the feeling of pulling off a combo attack with your friends, then celebrating with a victory slice in-game, and maybe even ordering one in real life because, let's be honest, ninja battles work up an appetite. Coming in at number 7 is Asterix and Obelix XXL2, a lighthearted adventure based on the beloved French comics. This game throws you into the whimsical world of Gaul where humor and wacky combat reign supreme. If you've ever wanted to punch Romans with a giant boar by your side, this is your game. First off, the art style is a delight. It's like stepping into a Saturday morning cartoon. Bright colors, exaggerated animations, and those iconic character designs we all know and love, it's all here. Every level feels like a page straight out of the comic book. Now let's talk about the combat. Imagine this, you're surrounded by Romans, their armor clanking as they close in, but you're not worried because you've got Asterix and Obelix ready to throw down. The combat is satisfyingly over the top. Asterix with his quick, nimble attacks and Obelix with his heavy-hitting brawn make for a dynamic duo that's fun to control. And the humor? Spot on. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, which is perfect because neither do I. Whether it's Asterix making snarky comments or Obelix just being his lovable, gluttonous self, there's always something to chuckle at. Plus, the game is peppered with playful references to other video games and pop culture, keeping things fresh and engaging. One of my favorite parts? The special moves. There's something immensely satisfying about watching Obelix swing a Roman around like a lasso, or Asterix use his potion-fueled strength to send enemies flying. And when they team up, absolute chaos in the best way possible. Perfect for anyone who thinks fighting Romans with a giant boar is a good time. Asterix and Obelix XL2 offers a charming mix of humor and action that'll keep you entertained for hours. At number 6, Injustice 2 is here to settle the ultimate question. Who would win in a fight? Picture this, Batman facing off against Superman in a no-holds-barred brawl. It's the kind of matchup comic book fans have debated for years, and Injustice 2 brings it to life with cinematic flair. The battles? They're nothing short of epic. Each punch, kick, and super move feels weighty and impactful. The game's graphics make every clash between heroes and villains look like it's straight out of a blockbuster movie. And the best part? You get to decide the outcome. The storyline? Compelling and full of twists. You're not just mashing buttons, you're following an intricate narrative where alliances shift and loyalties are tested. It's a roller coaster ride of emotions with your favorite characters taking center stage. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Batman versus Superman. Can the Dark Knight really take on the Man of Steel? According to Injustice 2, absolutely. Just don't ask how many gadgets it takes. Batman's utility belt seems to have no limits. He's got everything from kryptonite-infused knuckles to high-tech armor that makes Tony Stark look like an amateur. And let's not forget the humorous moments. Picture this, you're in the middle of an intense fight, Batman pulls out yet another gadget, and you can't help but laugh at the absurdity. It's like he's got a bottomless bag of tricks up his sleeve. Injustice 2 doesn't just answer who would win, it lets you play out every fanboy fantasy battle you've ever imagined, with style and substance to spare. At number 5, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, a game that's as hilarious as it is heartfelt. You step into the jet boots of Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, leading the ragtag team of misfits through space adventures. The storytelling, top-notch. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll wonder how Rocket fits so much sarcasm into such a small package. The banter between characters feels natural and keeps you engaged. Drax's deadpan humor and Gamora's cutting wit create this perfect balance with Quill's laid-back attitude and Groot's, well, Grootness. And oh man, the 80s soundtrack. It's like they raided my dad's mixtape collection and hit all the right notes, blasting Take On Me while piloting the Milano through an asteroid field. Perfection. There's something about fighting intergalactic baddies to Never Gonna Give You Up that makes you feel invincible, and a little ridiculous in the best way. Now let's talk about Quill's dance moves. These are optional but highly recommended. I'm telling you, there's nothing quite like breaking out into a dance-off mid-battle to distract enemies. Watching Quill do the Running Man while Groot grooves in the background is pure gold. It adds this layer of whimsy to the chaos, making even the toughest fights feel fun. So if you're looking for a game that blends humor with heartfelt moments and has a soundtrack that'll have you humming along for days, Guardians of the Galaxy is your ticket to an out-of-this-world adventure. Slicing its way to number 4 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, if you're thinking about the movie and wincing, I get it, but trust me, this game is a whole different beast, one that's far better than the film it's based on. First off, let's talk about Logan. This game lets you unleash his rage in spectacular fashion. I'm talking about slicing through enemies with those adamantium claws like a hot knife through butter. It's visceral, it's brutal, and it's immensely satisfying. Think of it as the movie, but with 100% more blood and claws. The combat system is what really shines here. You've got combos that make you feel like a true berserker. Picture this, you're surrounded by enemies, but instead of feeling overwhelmed, you're grinning because you know they don't stand a chance. You launch into a spinning claw attack, limbs flying everywhere. It's carnage in the best way possible. And then there's the healing factor. Watching Logan's wounds knit themselves back together in real time is nothing short of mesmerizing. You can literally see his muscles and skin regenerate after taking damage. It adds this layer of invincibility that makes charging headfirst into danger feel exhilarating rather than foolish. The game doesn't shy away from humor either. Logan's snarky one-liners keep things light even when you're knee-deep in enemy guts. Plus, there's something oddly hilarious about using Wolverine's claws to solve puzzles or open doors. Need to get through a locked gate? No problem, just slice it to bits. If you ever wanted to experience what it's like to be the most badass mutant around without any of the movie's awkward moments, X-Men Origins Wolverine is your ticket to pure, unadulterated, rage-fueled fun. Number 3 takes a darker turn with The Wolf Among Us. Let me tell you, stepping into the shoes of Bigby Wolf, yeah, the big bad wolf, is an experience like no other. Picture this, a gripping interactive mystery set in the Fables comic universe, where fairy tales meet film noir. It's dark, it's gritty, and it's downright addictive. I remember my first case vividly. The streets of Fabletown are no place for the faint-hearted. Shadows lurk around every corner, and danger feels like a constant companion. As Bigby, I had to navigate this twisted world, piecing together clues and interrogating suspects with all the finesse of a hard-boiled detective. Ever wanted to see Big Bad Wolf solve crimes? Now's your chance. Imagine Goldilocks isn't just about breaking into houses. She's got secrets that would make your hair curl. And those 3 little pigs? They've got stories that could fill volume. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's something almost absurdly funny about watching Bigby try to play nice while his inner wolf threatens to tear out at every provocation. You'd think being a sheriff would give him some clout. But in Fabletown, respect is earned the hard way. And oh man, the choices. Each decision I made felt like it carried the weight of the entire community. Do I play it by the book or let my wolfish instincts take over? Let's just say I had some interesting encounters, some more explosive than others. So if you're ready to dive into a world where fairy tales aren't what they seem and every choice matters, The Wolf Among Us is waiting for you. Swinging into the number 2 spot is Spider-Man. Miles Morales. This game? A thrilling spin-off that lets you step into Miles' shoes and master his electrifying new powers. Picture this, I'm zipping through Harlem, webs flying, and suddenly, bam, I'm invisible. Miles has got these insane camouflage abilities that add a whole new layer to the stealth mechanics. It's like being Spider-Man, but with cheat codes. And let's not forget his venom powers, electrifying punches and bioelectric blasts that send enemies flying. Yes, please. There's something incredibly satisfying about watching baddies convulse from a well-placed venom strike. I mean, if you're gonna be a superhero, why not have the coolest powers around? Now let's talk about the soundtrack. The only thing cooler than Miles' moves is his music. As I swing through the city, beats by Jaden Smith and Kid Cudi pump through my headphones. It's like having my own personal hype crew narrating every web sling and acrobatic flip. Picture this, I'm mid-swing, Harlem's skyline glistening in the background, and On My Own by Jaden Smith starts playing. Suddenly, every move feels 10 times more epic. It's impossible not to get caught up in the rhythm, bobbing my head to the beat while dodging enemy attacks. Miles' swagger doesn't just come from his powers, it's in every part of the game, the story, the visuals, and oh man, that music. If you've ever wanted to feel like the coolest superhero in town while jamming out to some killer tracks, Spider-Man. Miles Morales has got you covered. And claiming the top spot is none other than Batman Arkham City. This game, my friends, is the holy grail of superhero games. It lets you step into the boots of the Dark Knight himself and roam an open world Gotham that's as dark and gritty as you'd expect. From the moment I fired up the game, I was hooked. The city sprawls before you, every shadowy alley and towering building just begging to be explored. It's not just about swooping down on bad guys, though that's a blast. It's about becoming Batman in every sense. The combat system, pure poetry in motion. I'm talking about chaining together punches, kicks, and gadgets with a fluidity that makes you feel like a martial arts master. Every encounter feels like a dance of destruction. Enemies don't stand a chance when you're in the zone, but what really sets Arkham City apart is the story. It's gripping from start to finish, with twists that had me glued to my screen. The Rogue's gallery of villains is top-notch, each one more menacing and complex than the last. Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, they're all here, causing mayhem in their own uniquely twisted ways. Now for a bit of a warning, you may find yourself muttering, "I'm Batman" while playing. Trust me, it's impossible not to get caught up in the role. One minute I'm perched on a gargoyle scanning for threats. The next I'm whispering gravelly one-liners to my cat like I'm auditioning for the next movie. So if you've ever wanted to don the cape and cowl and deliver justice to Gotham's underbelly, Batman, Arkham City is your ultimate playground. From Gotham's rooftops to Marvel's multiverse, these games have brought our favorite comic heroes to life in unforgettable ways. Whether it's swinging through New York City as Miles Morales, or solving gritty mysteries in Fabletown with Bigby Wolf, each game on this list offers a unique experience that's hard to beat. Did your favorite make the cut? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more epic gaming content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep gaming heroic.